Thank you. Thanks, Michael. That was great. It's now my distinct honor to present the Jack Waters Corporate Advocate Award. Dr. Jack Waters was Pfizer's Vice President for External Medical Affairs and a staunch supporter of SAGE and our mission. Over his 30-plus year career, Jack was deeply committed to raising awareness about LGBTQ+ elders, about people with HIV/AIDS, and about all older people. Since Jack's death, Pfizer has generously provided critical support for the Jack Waters Award. This has allowed SAGE to recognize an individual or organization driving transformational change for the LGBTQ+ community in the corporate environment in honor of Jack and his work. Thank you to our friends at Pfizer who are here tonight. It is my honor to present the Jack Waters Award for 2022 to Brent Miller. Brent is Procter & Gamble's first ever Senior Director for Global LGBTQ+ Equality and Inclusion. It's a lot of title. He is a pioneer of using the voice of brands and companies to drive authentic and accurate portrayal of our community. Brent has created breakthrough LGBTQ+ campaigns, including Head & Shoulders, Shoulders of Greatness campaign with gay Olympian Gus Kenworthy. This ad was the first ever TV commercial to feature an athlete with the pride flag. At the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, Brent blazed even more new trails. It wasn't safe at that time, as you remember, to host normal Pride celebrations. Nonprofit organizations had to forego critical fundraising events. Brent stepped in. In response, he co-founded the Can't Cancel Pride, a COVID-19 benefit for LGBTQ+ organizations. Can't Cancel Pride was an incredibly successful, star-studded virtual concert and celebration, which I would add, he organized in just 6 weeks. He's something. Over the last 3 years, Can't Cancel Pride has brought together LGBTQ artists and our allies, from Lizzo, my personal favorite, to Elton John, to raise more than, catch this, $12 million for LGBTQ+ organizations, including SAGE. And not only that, Brent also produces award-winning short films documenting the experience of our community inside the workplace. Brent, please join me on stage to accept the 2022 Jack Waters Corporate Advocate Award.
Gosh. Well, speaking of Elton, thank you, Ruth. I'm really honored to be here tonight. It's really terrific to be in a room with all of you, and the work that you do is absolutely incredible. It means so much to receive this award, named for a legend at Pfizer. And I'm grateful to Pfizer both for its long-standing commitment to the community, but also for getting this through the pandemic. I swore tonight that I was not going to stand up and say, isn't it nice to be back together? Because we've all been to those things where they say, isn't it nice to be back together again? But I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Pfizer and their work to do that. But yeah, absolutely. But they did it not just for us, but they did it, think about how safe our elders feel because of the work that Pfizer has done. So thank you, Pfizer, for the work that you do, and thank you for getting us back together again. Also, how amazing were the performances tonight? That's pretty incredible. As a show choir kid from Ohio, it was pretty spectacular. So I love the energy, the talent, and the passion. So thank you for bringing your gifts to all of us tonight. Now, speaking from being Ohio, I have a shout out to Table 51 to my parents that came in from Findlay, Ohio. That's Mark and Linda Miller at Table 51. Thank you for the support that you show me, that you show Sage, and everyone in the community. Now, today my mom and dad were saying, sorry for the teleprompter people, I'm talking a little off script for a second, but today my parents and I were sitting at my apartment and I printed out the run of show, and my dad sat at my dining room table for a long time researching everyone that is speaking, and I have his notes here. And as a kid that came out a long time ago, when you're not sure if your family is going to be supportive, to even see my dad write a note that says Mama Gloria, Chicago trans activist, onto a note so that he knows what the people that came before us did is really, really special. So I think that all of us know the power of having a loving, supportive family can be, biological or chosen. They help us find our way, so thank you for being here. I've witnessed the impact of Sage and been amazed at their power of work. I've spent a lot of my career working to connect generations within our community. It started when I was 27 and Procter & Gamble moved me to London. I was at west side of London, a little town called Richmond, and there was a little gay pub called the Richmond Arms. And I met two brothers. Their names were Richard and Martin. They were wonderful people. They helped me navigate through all of queer life, gay life that I should ever know. They showed me every movie that I didn't know who they were. And one day, I asked them, why do you guys live together? Because you're such wonderful people. I just thought I wasn't quite sure. And their faces dropped and they said, who else would we live with? There's no one else left. And it was the very first time that it caused me to think back and look at the journey of the people that came before us. And the journey of those people allows me who I am to be today. With all of you in this room, with my supportive parents, with my amazing friends, with my colleagues. It's the Richards and the Martins in all of our lives that came before us and were so brave. They bravely lived their lives through pain, fear, and challenges I'll never know. The people that Sage supports have had an impact that we cannot overstate. Recently, I've become lucky enough to befriend a guy named Michael Chanik. He was P&G's first openly LGBTQ employee. He came into the company in the mid-1980s, and P&G made a mouthwash called Paradex, a mouthwash that I'd never heard of. It was a prescription mouthwash. Market share was growing in New York, Boston, San Francisco, and Chicago, and frankly, the company didn't know why. Well, it turned out that Paradex was an early treatment for thrush, which many people with HIV and AIDS developed. The company didn't acknowledge the LGBT community at that point, and Michael challenged us. He challenged the company. He said, you can't market to a community that you don't claim. You can't market to people that you claim don't exist. And he kept fighting. And like many people of his generation, he didn't stop fighting. He took his fight as an administrative level employee to the top of the company. And 30 years ago, on September 15th, 1992, P&G became one of the first Fortune 500 companies to put protections for sexual orientation into the diversity policy. Now, let's be transparent. They put sexual orientation in the diversity policy. It wasn't until 2007 that they identified gender identity and gender expression into that policy as well. But it was a step forward in the path to equality that many people don't recognize happened within companies that most of us work for. But Michael didn't just change a company, he transformed what LGBTQ advocacy meant in companies around the world. And I'm fortunate to continue his legacy, and as other people have said, stand on the great shoulders of the people that challenge us to be better. But now, more than ever, we need to acknowledge the pioneers and all that they have given to us. The ability to live a more open, honest, fulfilling, and supportive life. While we recognize the love and support that they deserve today. The generations that came before me are the heroes. It's not me. And SAGE are the angels that continue to support them. With all of the challenges that we face today, the differences within our own community, and the force that from outside that strive to keep us apart, there is one thing we can all agree on. We must continue to fight the way that SAGE fights for our elders, because those are the people that fought for us. So, as I've learned on my own journey, and I still continue to learn, emboldened by a company that actually gave me a voice, which still somehow surprises me, the only thing that matters in the end is the amount of good you can do with a voice that you're given, because it matters and it has impact. You have all given me so much love, and I love the love that we see around the room tonight. So I dedicate this award to the Richards, the Martins, the Michaels, all of those people in our lives that have given us a sense of purpose, hope, and humanity, and whose gifts are so often not fully appreciated. I thank you with a very full heart and with a dedicated determination to know that the work that we do goes on, because there's so much more incredible work to do, and there's so many people that deserve more. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us at the SAGE Awards and Gala.